Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and this is actually the second attempt of doing this video. Yeah, doing the editing process of my video, which is like compressing it and putting in the title of the chapter and all, I accidentally deleted it. Yeah. So I have to redo it again. So, hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we're going to continue Hawkite, Arrow of the Air. I already did this chapter before, but I accidentally deleted it. Like I said before. So, yeah. This is my second attempt at searching for the prize. Chapter 2. Let's turn down the music and let's get this started again. Grolder Road rolled away from them in a sheet of green, blue, and gold. Elena gasped in delight, twisting around in the saddle to take in their surroundings. "It's so beautiful," said Ellen. She murmured. "Look at the colors." Tom had to admit Gwilder was even more beautiful than Aventia. The colors were richer, and the air was purer. Even the clouds that scudded overhead in the deep blue sky seemed whiter than normal. She turned to look over his shoulder at Elena. He turned to look over his shoulder at Elena. There's something about this place," he said, searching for the words. "This quest feels like the most important one we've ever faced." "All our quests have been important," Elena pointed out. "Yes, but..." Tom stopped. He didn't know how to explain it to Elena, but freeing the beasts of Gwilder somehow felt personal. They reached the head of a valley, and the view took Tom's breath away. The rolling hills were a deep emerald green, and a foaming turquoise river thundered between the rocks. It was truly the most beautiful place he'd ever seen. They made their way down the valley, checking the amulet to be sure they were going the right direction. Elena gasped at the pretty birds that wheeled in the sky. The flowers by the wayside seemed to pulse with color. Silver sniffed them and sneezed out the bright yellow pollen that tickled his nose. They reached the far side of the valley as the sun began to set. The rich fingers of golden light seemed to set the whole land on fire. Tom pulled Storm up on the mossy riverbank. "Let's stop here for the night," he suggested to Elena. Silver had already padded over to a stringy patch of pea-green grass. Not, it says moss, not grass. And was settling down. "Silver thinks that's a good idea," said Elena chuckled. "I'll gather wood if you make a fire." Tom tethered Storm to the coppery trunk of a hazel tree. He then prepared the fire with the wood that Elena found. Soon the flames cast light and shadow over the camp. Even fire had had an extra brightness here in Gwilder. They ate their bread and cheese, and the full white moon above added its light to their campfire. As Elena stoked the flames, Tom took out the amulet and studied the map. Now they were further inland. The paths were twisting off in slightly different directions. One led towards a village with rounded roofs, and the other led among the edged sheaves of corn that Tom had seen earlier. Elena looked at Tom. "Which path should we take?" she asked. Tom knew that they needed to find Freya's prize first. If his experience with Crab was anything to go by, the prize would give him a magical skill that he could use to defeat the next beast. He gazed more closely at the map. At the end of the path that led to the farmland, he noticed a tiny image of what looked like a bird. Beneath the bird was some small writing. Tilting the amulet to the fire, he saw that it read Hawkite. "This must be the beast's name," said Tom, pointing out the bird's picture to Elena. He followed the other path into the village with his finger. "And here's a ring. Look," he said, his finger coming to rest on a miniature-edged circle. "It must be the prize." Elena padded out of the darkness where he had been hunting for food. Storm stood quietly, still chomping the lush grass at his feet. "We'll find it tomorrow," said Elena sleepily, lying down and throwing her arms over the warm body of her wolf. "Good night." Soon Tom could tell from her light breathing that she was asleep. As he laid his own head on the ground, he wished he could rest so easily. But his mind was full of thoughts. What would this beast be like? Could they peril? Could they prevail? And why did Gwilder feel so strange, and yet so familiar? The moon was waning before Tom drifted off. His dreams were vivid, filled with images of Freya, Valmel, and the shadowy outline of a beast in the form of a bird. Hawkite. They had barely emerged from the valley the next morning when they arrived at a fork in the road. One path snaked away into the hills, the other led straight ahead. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me again. "A signpost would be helpful," Helena joked, as Tom brought Storm to a halt. Tom stared at the well-worn paths and reached around his neck for the amulet. His hand hurt more today, and the green bruise was slightly darker. But before he could take out the amulet and study the map, Storm was pulling at his reins. Tom looked up. Silver had trotted up to the fork and was sniffing the ground. Without Without hesitation, the wolf leapt down the left path. He stopped and gazed calmly at the others over his shoulder. "Silver wants us to follow him," said Tom, as Storm pulled at his reins again. They were lucky to have such instinctive animal friends. Tom tapped Storm's flanks with his heels. With a snort, Storm broke into a trot down the left-hand path, which was lined with hedges. "Look at that!" Elena pointed at a glossy red robin hopping through the hedgerow. "It's so bright, it looks like it's had an extra layer of paint or something." They rounded a corner. The hedge fell away, revealing a collection of small thatched houses gathered in a circle around a pond. The golden straw roofs were bright and neat, and the small village pond was a deep sapphire blue. Somewhere among those houses was the ring that Tom had to find. Here's Tom and Eleanor walking into the village. Tom nodded and smiled in greeting as brightly clothed villagers emerged from their houses to stare at him and his friends. "Please, don't be afraid," Elena said as the villagers flinched away from her great silver wolf. "He's friendly." No one smiled back. Tom noticed that despite the brightness of the villagers' clothes and the neat appearance of their houses, their faces were shallow-skinned and sunken in. Their clothes hung from their skin, thin, scarecrow-like bodies. Dark shadows lie beneath their eyes. Tom and Elena stared a startled glance. "These people are starving," he told her under his breath. That was chapter 2. What is the title? Searching for the Prize. Hope my camera is the right direction this time. It was like sideways, so I had to redo this video. Unfortunately. But hey, at least I still made it. Oh, I should stretch more. I should stretch every morning, but I don't do that for some odd reason. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my read through Hawkite, the Arrow of the Air. And I also hope you like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos, which I will do another video of today, even though I already did 2, but the first one kinda... Well, what are you gonna do? Kinda tipped sideways, so... But what are you gonna do? Alright, I will see you all in the next video. After I upload this one, I'm gonna start the other one. Bye bye!